The Camarilla are an ancient sect of witch hunters who were kind of funded and created by Henry VIII and Philip II. They have always had the aim of eliminating the stain of witchhood from the world. These are people that Alder has faced before, but these are people that Alder believed were completely finito. They have been canceled, they're done, they're buried, they're in the ground. She was just so sure that they were done and gone and kind of couldn't accept that they might still be around. That she sort of dismissed suggestions, little hints earlier on, but they're back. That attack on the Bellwether wedding in episode 5 was definitely the Camarilla. And the Camarilla, what they did long ago and what they're starting to do again is to remove witch vocal cords. Back then, it was about removing the thing that made somebody a witch. But we're going to find out now they're using these vocal cords to replicate a kind of sick, bastardized version of the witch's magic to use against them. So they have some very basic weather magic that they're able to do. We've seen a little bit of their disabling technology in the fight in 5, but this is a little different and it's very offensive to witches because it is a bastardization of what they do naturally and beautifully. So it's an ugly thing. I think the spree are still really messed up, but you're starting to see that more and more that they kind of have a point and that the burning times never stopped burning. And that there is an ancient enemy that is way, way, way worse than them and that they could ever be, especially to witches. The season kind of shakes everybody loose from where they were before. We see the new Abigail in that eulogy in 9, and then we see her choose her sisters over entrenched power and privilege even. So I think we're seeing the birth of a new leader growing into this more worldly, smarter way of being a leader.
Throughout the whole season, I think the thing she learned the most is to care about others and not just herself. Going on this mission, instead of going to war college, she knew that it was her and her girls. That was it. She's not leaving one behind. I think she's grown so much, and I think she learns that from Tally and from Raelle, that, hey, we're in this together and we care about each other, we're your family, and we got your back no matter what. So I think that drives her as well, to know that she can fall back on these girls and they'll be right there for her.
Raelle has drastically changed. Her mother's death kind of motivates her all along the way, but her reasoning changes. She wants to do well for her mother and her mother's honor, and then it sort of begins to become avenging her mother's death.
You were supposed to bring me my daughter.
I think I was like reading it on my couch and I physically screamed out loud, "I knew it! I knew it!" But it didn't unfold in the way that I thought it was going to unfold, and I'm so excited to see where that takes her.
The daughter part completely blows Scylla's mind, so that's another huge explosion to unpack at the top of next season.
Tally is at the place where she's questioning everything that she thought she knew. And that's largely come about as she's grown in her gift as a knower. She sees things now as they are, not as she wishes them to be. And more importantly, and more painfully, she learns that she can't unsee once she's seen.
We see her really kind of lose faith in Alder, whom she's always admired from day one, you know. And we see her kind of turn on Alder and decide that Alder is a lot less than she thought she was. But then we'll see Alder win her back with a speech in a cave about what Alder has endured. It somehow reignites that part of Tally that would just throw herself into the fire for the right cause. Alder wins her respect back, and then Tally makes the ultimate sacrifice.
I think when Eliot told me, he told me in the pilot, as a kind of as a light heads up, Tally is she's gonna be a biddy. She's gonna do it to save everyone. As he spoke and explained why, I just started crying.
Being a biddy is not just about suddenly taking on about 45 of Alder's years. It's also a very intimate connection that's really similar to linking, which we've established in the series. And it's a situation where Tally is going to start to remember some of Alder's life and her memories. Raelle has had contact with a sentient mushroom. It's this gigantic mushroom that lives under Fort Salem. And the witches who specify in Necro are taught to sort of communicate and work with this living death fungus. Raelle, at one point, she's looking for answers about Scylla's disappearance, and she goes into the Necro building and touches the mycelium, and it seems like nothing, although she has some weird stuff on her finger. But that contact is eternal. So the mycelium took some of her DNA and it gave her some of its DNA. So they are now linked. So what we see at the end of 10, this magnificently strange explosion, is part of that.
In the very last moments of the show, I think you really begin to understand how strong not only Raelle is in harnessing her powers, but how strong Abigail is, especially when you put them together as a team. The kind of magic and the things that happen between the two is borderline frightening. And so I'm excited to see how they learn to harness that, and they're really going to have to work together to utilize their powers in the strongest way.
You always gotta be the hero, huh, BELLWEATHE?
I love you, Shipper.
Taylor and I got so close during shooting the whole season. So to say those words to each other and to be like dying as our characters, it's just like we were saying goodbye to our friendship, and we were like, no, we love each other. So it was very emotional.
When she would be on camera, I had to lay behind the camera, and all I could see was like the corner of her eye, and for both of us, that was just enough. Like I could hear it in her voice, I could feel it in her energy.
It was very, very emotional. And Jessica's character as well, Tally, when she's bawling at us.
The boy runs out from the helicopter and her unit goes to chase, and she almost gets out of the helicopter to pursue. You know, because it's the unit and she goes where they go. And just in that moment, there's just this understanding that that's not your unit anymore. And where they go, you cannot follow.
Everyone was feeling it that day. That was the one that hit.
There were some tears in some of those moments on set. I tell you, it was a big journey for all of us. But I'm so just grateful and tickled that we got such incredible actors for these roles.
It's a really, really nice way to close something beautiful that we made.